Hi, we're Waukegan Wellness. My name is Annemarie, and boy, do we have a special guest for you today. I've actually never seen our studio so excited. We'll be back in just a minute.
Waukegan Wellness, and why now?
How do we take one city and change the mentality and the environment and help the people realize that there is a different world that we can experience? All the resources are here. And that's, I think, what's troubling to me is all these resources are here, but nobody's working together.
The Hub in downtown Waukegan is the place to launch your business. The new business spot for you. Free Wi-Fi, free conference room, free use of office space, discount on studios and classroom space, free scanning, free printing, and also memberships to be able to meet with our experts. For the first 6 months, you can be able to get you a business office space and drop-in mail space for only $75. And most importantly, building a connection with other entrepreneurs just like you.
Well, here's what's all the excitement's about. We're here with my friend, Matthew Hixon. Matthew and I met about 4 years ago when he was leaving his full-time job to start this vision. But I want to go back a little, and I want to talk a little bit about where you came from.
Absolutely. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. Very proud to be here.
Yeah.
My name is Matthew Alexander Hixon, born in England, raised in Jacksonville, Florida. I did all my schooling there, 2-parent household, military child, which is the reason why I was actually born in England. My dad was in the Air Force.
Awesome.
After he retired, of course, he does what everyone else usually does, retire somewhere where it's nice and warm. Florida was the spot. So I grew up there, did all my schooling. I am the oldest of 3 brothers. I have 2 younger brothers, one currently living in California, one in Orlando, Florida right now, and me being the oldest currently residing in Illinois. Grew up in a very 2-parent household, very disciplined, my dad being military. I grew up in the church, so I was raised Catholic. I did a lot of things in the community, Catholic base-wise, from being an altar boy. I also did a youth leader, so I got confirmed. So I know all about that stuff.
Nice.
Growing up that way. And I'm a father of 2. I have 2 young girls. They're going to be 13 and 12 this year. So
They're amazing.
Yeah, they're my pride and joy. And I've been living here since 2010.
Nice.
So now I'm here.
Well, I want to talk about your entrepreneurial journey, but before that, we have to tell people who you are and what you're doing, because literally I've never seen this room this excited. So tell people, what is Gamers Glorified?
Yes, well, Gamers Glorified right now is I host events, camps. I'm an actual coach. I compete professionally for over 15 years under the gamer tag 99 Cent McFury. And currently right now I am diving into the educational side of things. So that is basically my focus now with my business. I am currently teaching life skills, developmental skills, financial literacy, and career opportunity through gaming. So I'm letting the youth know the career sets, the opportunities that they have, what skills that they're using and acquiring while they're playing games, and how they can acquire that into either A, becoming a better gamer, B, using those for career fields in the gaming industry, or C, just using those skill sets to do something that they love to do.
Right.
Anyways.
So we're Waukegan Wellness, and I'm sure people are saying, what does gaming and wellness have to do with each other? So I know when you and I first spoke, I was actually even a little confused, but I definitely see us as colleagues now. I see that we're both coaches and that we both add so much value to the youth in this community. So talk to people about the connection between what you do and being well.
Absolutely. So wellness for me is knowing self, also eating right, and being able to either A, create opportunities, or B, being able to acknowledge when those opportunities are available and capitalize on those. Good. So going back to, the wellness of self, I knew growing up, gaming was my passion.
Love that.
So, but at that time, it wasn't where I could actually make it into a business. So it was kind of a hobby, a side thing. As technology grew, as gaming grew, business opportunities arrived, and I was like, ooh, now is my time.
Yeah.
I have the passion, I have the opportunity, I have the ability and know-thought of how to actually do that. And that's where Gamer Glorified comes.
Yeah.
As far as the wellness side as well, eating right. So as I'm currently still competing myself now.
Yeah.
So as I get older, I realize I can't eat the way I was eating when I was in my prime and like my 20s and stuff like that. So I have to change the way that I eat.
Yeah.
And by changing the way that I actually eat, helps me overall in my gaming performance, keeps me clear and focused. My energy is high. Prime example is I literally gave up bread.
Okay.
As far as a everyday consumption base.
Sure.
So I haven't bought a loaf of bread in a year.
Wow.
Or a bagel. So that's just something as
Works for
simple
you.
as that. It works for me.
Yeah.
Everyone is different, but
Yep.
that's one thing that just that little minute change in my diet made a big difference.
Yeah. And it's sustainable for you.
And it's sustainable
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. So I want to circle back here just a little bit. So I love the connection between you being a coach, but also being an athlete and you coaching athletes. And, that physical, mental, emotional wellness all matters to athletes. We don't talk enough about this, but I've got to believe that all those things also help you with sleep patterns. And sleep has to be critical for you performing optimally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sleep is on top of the list. Next to like even drinking water.
Yeah.
Those two things, sleep and drinking water.
Yeah.
And I have to tell my gaming community and my athletes, because we're so used to staying up all night.
Sure,
playing games,
that's why I wanted to
right?
ask the question.
So I have to emphasize to them a lot and even challenge them.
Sure.
I'm like, guys, go to bed early, get some sleep.
Yeah.
The game is going to be there when you wake up.
Nice.
I promise you, it's not going anywhere.
So you have good boundaries and you're teaching them
Absolutely.
good boundaries.
So, and then with being a coach, they kind of have to listen to me, even though they don't like it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but then when they do it, they're like, yo, coach, like that, I really appreciate you telling me this, because it actually worked.
Right.
So sleep, absolutely.
Critical. Yeah.
Very,
I'm so
very
glad.
critical.
I knew we would see eye to eye on that. We're going to run out of time, I know, before I finish everything that I want to ask you. Good thing I know where you live.
Right.
But talk to us a little bit about entrepreneurship as it relates to financial wellness, because I've got to believe that making that decision to leave your full-time job with a family could not have been easy.
No, it couldn't.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we live in a time where and I tell all my gamers this who wants to do this for a living.
Mm-hmm.
I started off working a regular 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
Right.
I know you did.
So, but simultaneously doing my business.
Mm-hmm.
So you can invest in your business while working your full-time job.
Yeah.
So long as there's a goal in mind, if you're not just working mindlessly, just to do it, you got to have a goal in mind.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I was in the mortgage industry. I was using some of the money that I was making on my everyday job,
Sure.
kind of treated it like a bill. I took a certain portion of it, put it towards my business, did that for a month. Now I can go to the court and file my business.
Love
and
that.
make it legal.
Yeah.
Next month, do the same thing. Now I can turn my corporation turn into an LLC.
Sure.
I was a sole proprietor for a few years. Now I have the ability to turn into an LLC, get equipment. When you set goals in mind,
Right.
it slowly chips away to your 9 to 5, and you can start doing your
So
entrepreneurship.
little tangible steps that were digestible and that also had an end goal in mind.
Exactly. You want to have an end goal in mind.
Yeah, I love that.
To do that.
But a goal, it seems kind of like the place to stop. It seems to me that you're just getting started.
You're just getting started.
Yeah.
So it's
the
almost
goal
like
changes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The goal changes. It's almost like keeping a grocery list of things you want to
great
buy
analogy.
at the store. Found it. That's my goal. I need to find this fruit. Found it. What's the next one?
That's
And
a
you just
great
check
analogy.
it off,
I love that.
And we're always going to need food. There's always something that you want to accomplish.
Right.
And once you get started, you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
Even when you're done with all your goals, you create another one because
Yeah.
you're so in that habit of just constantly making goals. So that's the beauty of entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Are you surprised at how intrigued people are by you and your business?
Yes and no.
Okay.
From the outside looking in as a gamer, it makes sense to me.
Hmm.
It's a no-brainer. Even the youth understand it.
Sure.
But there's that stereotype with gaming,
Yeah.
and every day I pretty much lower and break off that stereotype with parents. You know, kids, youth, they understand where it's going.
Yeah.
Parents, not so much. But when I break it down to them, they sit there and they're like, oh, that actually does make sense.
Yeah.
You know, and they're more supportive.
Sure.
And that's all you can be as a parent, you know, is just support what they want to do in any venture, whether it be gaming, you know, photography, wellness,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
just be supportive.
So one more question before our final question
Yeah.
is, because I know we're going to run out of time here, but there are scholarships available for people with gaming. So tell people really quickly where they can find you and get more information on that, and then we'll ask the final question.
Real quick, they can pretty much any college that has an esports program,
Yeah.
there's a scholarship opportunity for them.
Incredible, right?
So that's the easiest.
Yeah, amazing. All right. So final question is, what does wellness mean to you?
Goes back to being self-aware,
Mm.
eating right, which is not hard to do nowadays, believe it or not.
You're right.
And just like I said, you know, being able to know opportunities when they come and being able to capitalize on that.
Awesome.
And that's what wellness means to me.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much again for tuning in. As you can tell, this has been such an awesome conversation. We can't wait to next time. And by the way, the next conversation could be with you. I'm Annemarie, and we are Waukegan Wellness.
It's a part of a movement. You know, we've talked about what happens when the food system shuts down. I don't care if you got $50 million in the bank. And food just is so important to everybody. As individuals, we can control the little pieces. But the wellness piece, if we are destroying the planet while trying to get ourselves well, it's not well. We've overcome to this system, this societal system that says, oh, we'll take care of you, unless you don't do what we tell you to do.
Greater Waukegan Development Coalition and its partners would like to invite you, if you are a woman, minority, or veteran-owned business looking to gain contracts with large institutions, GWDC, Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and the Black Chamber of Commerce are working to ensure just that. We are committed to helping small disadvantaged businesses in the North Chicago, Park City, Waukegan, Beach Park, and Zion communities. Our goal is to help build a thriving economy for our communities. Let us start with you.
My experience with the chocolate chip summer camp was very good. There was coding, which was fun to make your own little world. And then we got to do VR, which was also like we coded it.
During like the first half of the session, we got to like build our own world and like got to see inside of it.
So designing it was very helpful. So now I can use it with my own and get more use out of it.
There was just so many options, and also it was just so amazing to realize all of this was made with coding, which we also study later on in the camp.
Coding is like when you take like art and stuff, you can make games, develop games and stuff.
My experience with drones was very fun and exciting. We learned new tricks to do with the drones, like we made it land on our hand.
We would do a lot of competitions where we have to do obstacle courses. It was a really fun experience. We would also do games, like we would do racing, and if we won, we would sometimes get gift cards.
It's a fun place, and lunch is really good, and you can make a lot of friends here, and it's just really fun. So that's a couple reasons why I love chocolate chips.
near.
Okay.
And the school offers an esports program, and they happen to have like a Fortnite team or Rocket League or some of these, popular esports gaming titles. And they happen to be good at that type of game. And if all those other goals that I mentioned before, check box, if they add up, okay, you got a 4.0, you scored this score on an SAT, ACT, and you're actually good at Fortnite at the same time. Yeah, we want you.
That's amazing. So give us a percentage. How many colleges are offering esports right now?
That's a good question. I would say anywhere between 25 to 30%, in my opinion.
Wow.
Offering it. Each year, it's growing and growing. For example, my college that I coach at, which is Kishwaukee University, it's a junior college. It's the third year that they've done it. NIU started last year, so they just got on board.
So it's growing.
And then the beauty about that is with the scholarships, I literally have to give them away. So scholarships are usually to entice the players to come to our school. But they got gaming, so they're like already in. They're like, "What? You got an esports team? I'm in." So I don't even have. I'm like, wait, I didn't even talk about the scholarship aspect of things, and I don't have to. So I have this money. I have to bill it out, I have to give it out.
That's amazing.
I don't have to use it as a tool to get people to come in.
Are the teams co-ed? I have so many questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not like a boys basketball team and a girls basketball team. It's
so here's the beauty about esports.
Yeah,
it's inclusive to everybody.
That's
it's not based on how well you shoot a basketball, how far you can throw a football. Those who don't even know how to play games, but they've always wanted to, can be on the team.
Wow.
So that's the beauty about it. And like I said, I don't really have to market the scholarship side of things. They're just excited that they have it.
That's incredible.
There. And that's one thing. And that's why I like to do what I do at the schools. Because if I educate them and let them know now, by the time they get to college, they're already ready because they've had that experience, that knowledge, that know-how in grade school.
And are they traveling with teams, or is this mostly virtual? How does that work?
Yes. So depending on the college, everything that I do right now, it's virtual. So that's the beauty of it. During the COVID era,
I'm sure that had to be amazing.
Esports skyrocketed.
Sure.
People on the board that really didn't know what esports was were like, hey, how's our esports team doing? Because it was COVID proof.
Sure.
While there was no basketball, no track or whatever because of this social distancing.
Sure.
Esports didn't really have an issue.
Yeah.
So my first year coaching, I physically didn't see any of my athletes, but I was there virtually, and we were competing against other colleges virtually.
Amazing. Let's circle back here and let's talk about the student athletes. So you and I are both coaches. We both work with student athletes. Let's talk about what skill sets specifically you're bringing to students that are applicable after their gaming life. Let's talk about that.
So with a lot of depending on where they want to go and what their journey is. So the college I work at is a junior college. So after 2, maybe 3 years most, they're either gone to another college or they decide to do whatever their degree is, God willingly that they, went to get an education for.
Right.
So depending on which route they take will determine how I can help them move forward. So for example, I have one student who's going to the University of Illinois, and I'm going to be writing him a recommendation letter.
Amazing.
And then because of what I do outside of coaching, my gaming business, I'm a professional gamer, it makes the opportunity for him a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Because, they could look me up, they're going to do their due diligence and see who I am.
Right.
And then on the other side, there was someone that actually, he is going into like aviation, or he's applying for like air traffic control.
Got it.
Type of jobs.
We need those, that's for sure.
He actually has the skill sets because he's a gamer to be able to do that, because he can look at multiple screens at a time from playing other games and being able to identify certain things in real time.
Yeah, it has to be hugely. Yeah, true.
That's the cross branding of looking at gaming skills, not only for gaming industry, but
it's transferable.
Other type of career fields in general. So I'll be writing him, a recommendation. He use me as a reference, that type of thing. If they need to speak to me, I can tell him, he's 4.0 student, he's very disciplined, some of the skill sets that I know just living life, understand how things work at those times, we'll get him a foot in the door as well.
And so one of the things that we talked early about was what I felt, which was completely misunderstood, that there wasn't a lot of interpersonal connection and personal development with other humans in gaming. And you definitely, talked me off the ledge there. So let our audience know a little bit how gaming itself develops relationships between people.
Absolutely. So we're brought on this earth to pretty much socialize,
Right.
We need, with schooling as well, and with the gaming, it teaches us how to work well with others, and what better way or simple way of doing that than gaming. It's a lot easier to, when I host my events, I can just pick a particular game and then I'll have my event, and then you'll be surprised how many, like, of all ages that come in and say, "Oh, you play this game?" "Yeah, I play this game." And the connection is just amazing.
Yeah.
And it's for gaming, and it's a lot easier. They're more comfortable. They're in an environment, in a game that they actually know and love how to play. And then from there, people get to know each other outside of just the gaming aspect.
They're going to get a cup
of
coffee.
They go to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Or they find anime. A lot of gamers watch anime. They come, they talk about anime. And then same thing with drawing. During the time, if they're not playing, they just sit around and hang out, and they just start doodling and drawing. And they're like, "Oh, you draw? Yeah, I draw." So it's so much like socialization and correlation with each other.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You develop a bond. Like some of my best friends that I know to this day, I met from gaming.
That's incredible.
So just the bond that you have, the socialization, with gaming, it's amazing.
Right. And the other thing that I think that is kind of a disconnect is that when you first said gaming, the only thing I thought of was on a computer. But you've had gaming nights where people play Monopoly or Clue or cards,
Absolutely.
poker.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why it's called Gamers Glorified. Like I don't specify just on video gaming. It's just gaming as a whole. When I first started my business, I didn't have the revenue or the money to just buy a whole bunch of gaming laptops and go that route. So, I just did what I knew that I would work. And I bought a couple Uno cards, made a Facebook ad, and I had like 30 to 40 people show up for an Uno tournament.
Amazing.
And here I am now.
Right. It's crazy. Right. So talk about that idea of play. Because you and I talk about that, how play is so important to wellness and being well and staying well, and how gaming allows opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So play is important overall. I mean, even in general, from video gaming to just being outside. We need that. A body in motion stays in motion. That's what we're here to do.
Creative outlet.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. We're summing up again now for the second time, but you're in Waukegan. You're at the hub.
Yes.
Let people know what's going on here and the energy that's here and why they should come see us here in Waukegan.
Absolutely. One, I'm here. Two, you're here. Hub Studios is here. Part Boiler Media is here. Gamers Glorified is here. There's a lot of good opportunities that are coming here. It's land of opportunity. We got a couple events coming up. Stay tuned. We're working on doing a pitch night as well.
Super fun.
For other entrepreneurship people like me, I'll be hosting that because I'm living proof. I started at the hub 2017.
Woo!
And look where I'm at now. I have my own business, coaching, after school program. So it can be done here.
Amazing.
And it should be done here.
Yeah.
So I'll be here. You'll be here.
Absolutely. And you'll be here.
Absolutely.
So thanks so much again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. We can't wait to see you next time. I'm Annemarie, and this is Waukegan Wellness.
We're going to talk about everything that is happening here in District 60, the things that are important to my residents, workers' rights, women's rights, LGBTQ rights. Every single person in this district deserves to be represented. We have so many different ethnicities here. We are a wonderful melting pot of people. Oh my God, we have the best food restaurants in Waukegan. Things that you may not see, things that will never show up in the news. The individuals who are actually here doing the work, the small mom and pop companies, are unsung heroes. I want to highlight who's doing what in District 60.
Waukegan Wellness, and why now?
How do we take one city and change the mentality and the environment and help the people realize that there is a different world that we can experience? All the resources are here. And that's, I think, what's troubling to me is all these resources are here, but nobody's working together.